Hi, Maria.
Hey.
It's good to see you today. How are you doing?
A little better.
What do you mean when you say a little bit better?
I don't know. It's funny. Like, I feel like I had somebody who was there for me this past week, which was really cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think if we jump straight into that stuck point?
Sure.
Okay. So somebody was there for you.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember. There's a couple different ones. We talked about trust. We talked
Mm-hmm.
about people letting you down. Which one do you think this relates to best?
I don't know. Maybe like people letting me down.
I believe you mentioned everyone's always letting me down.
Yeah.
Does that hit home?
Yeah, a little.
Where, if we look today, how much do you believe that? Where would you say it is 0 to 100% right now?
I don't know. I feel like this week's been a pretty good week. I don't know. Maybe like 65. Yeah.
What's the emotion when you think about that? What are you feeling?
Um, I don't know. I guess like a little bit of like peace almost.
Yeah, I thought I saw a different look on your face. I saw some different
Yeah.
nonverbals.
Yeah.
Peace. 0 to 100%. Where's that at?
Of peace. I don't know. I mean, I still feel like there's some way to go, but I don't know. Maybe like, do you mean like 100 being completely at peace, or do you mean like 0 being at peace? And
100 being the highest intensity, the most peace you could possibly feel.
probably like close to 60. Yeah.
Why don't we move into some of that evidence for? So you saw some situations where people were there for you. What do you mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was just like nice, like I guess like being a part of something again. Like I had a couple of friends just reach out wanting to like spend time, and like it didn't feel like I had to do everything, I guess, like for them, or I had to be the one to like create the situation.
Okay, so they were showing you they cared.
Yeah, I think.
Was there just that one situation this week, or were there more?
Um, it was nice because my mom also called me and we talked for a little bit. And I didn't feel like she was like asking me for something.
It's interesting as you're talking through this. We visited that idea of building the evidence for and against, and really trying to see what supports our beliefs, what really pushes back against them. I hear more of that evidence against today. More you pushing back against that belief.
I don't know. I mean, maybe a little.
What about some of those challenging questions? Everyone's going to let me down. Is there an extreme nature to that thought? Is that exaggerated at all?
Maybe a little bit. I think sometimes I just always have like that fear that people are going to let me down. So then I just kind of expect it, and then I kind of create something, and maybe they didn't really let me down. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, or yeah.
You talked about that idea of looking back to when you were younger, seeing situations throughout your life.
Yeah.
People were letting you down. If we're seeing more evidence now that people aren't letting you down, it seems like you're trying to challenge that idea of whether this is a fact, that everyone's always letting you down, or more that it's a habit that you tell yourself.
Maybe. I never really thought about it like that.
If we look at that broader from that broader lens, you talked about expecting people to let you down. Do you remember that pattern jumping to conclusions?
Hmm.
Does that hit home for you at all?
Yeah, a little.
What comes to mind?
I don't know. Just about people letting me down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of just like brings up like several years ago when like I lost my brother, and I don't know. I think like since then it's just I feel like it's just been like the same thing every time. So it's just hard to let people in and really let people, get close.
So since you lost your brother, that's where that change happened. It's more expecting other people to let you down now.
Yeah, I think so.
If we try to get at the idea of functionality, is it functional for us to expect people to let us down?
Probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, it
Maybe.
makes life a little hard sometimes.
Yeah.
We know this type of thinking and these thoughts, they're really hard to push back against.
Hmm.
Like you said, this is years ago you lost your brother, and we know how that impacted you. We know what you care about him.
Yeah.
If you're in a situation, this week, next month, years down the road, and we're trying to prevent that Maria from expecting others to let her down,
Yeah.
what's a more functional way she could think? What's a thought she could respond with in that moment?
I don't know. Maybe just, I don't know, just not waking up with that, just like, I guess, a rational thought of just because it's like in my mind doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, or just because I've had negative experiences doesn't necessarily mean that every single person is going to, you know,
Let you down in these moments?
yeah.
I hear that shift there. That new belief. Just because I had negative experiences doesn't mean everyone's going to let me down.
Yeah.
How much do you believe that? 0 to 100%.
I mean, definitely not 100%. I don't know, maybe like 40.
40?
Yeah.
I see a different look on your face. Is there a different emotion there? Does it bring up anything different?
Um, Maybe just like content, just like feeling content. Yeah.
And if we try to tie that back, you said peace, and then we visit that idea of how your brother's death impacted you. And through that, and you start to see, all right, this has certainly affected how I see other people, how I see my relationships. But then we transition to contentment. It's a pretty significant change there.
I think with like feeling of peace, like it was just nice in that moment, like having somebody just be there. And I feel like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like settled. Like I feel, I don't know, just a little bit better. Yeah.
We always want to behaviorally apply these thoughts. It's so important for us to try to challenge our thinking and make sure that we're thinking in functional and accurate ways. If we're transitioning it to that idea that even though there was a very painful experience, maybe others won't let us down. What would that look like in the day to day if that Maria was acting on that belief?
I don't know. I guess I just never really experienced it. So it's hard to think about what it would look like. I mean, I feel like I'd probably be like happier, and I feel like I wouldn't always be so worried about, I don't know, other people letting me down, you know?
As you say that, it makes me wonder. We're trying to push back against some beliefs that are really associated with some pain,
Yeah.
and we're asking you to live differently at times. If we're saying, hey, let's use this new belief, let's see what this would look like in action,
Yeah.
that might be a lot. That might be uncomfortable at times.
It is. I think it's hard when you like have woken up every morning for the past several years, and just kind of just being like, okay, like who's gonna let me down today? Then all of a sudden just being like not worried about that. I mean, it's just a completely different situation. I don't know. I don't know if I would know how to act.
Well, that's exactly where we want you to be. You're challenging the thinking. You've got this more functional belief that we're not 100% on. We still
Right.
have ways to go on that, and we still want to try to find more evidence that you can count on people, that maybe there isn't that need to expect people to let you down.
Yeah.
What if we transition a little bit into one of the other beliefs? Are there any others that you've noticed any progress? We talked about trust. We talked about power, safety.
Um, Maybe a little bit with the safety factor. Yeah. Feel I don't feel as I guess on edge, or, I don't know, feeling that, I don't know, just the world is unsafe, I guess. I'm trying to not focus so much on that.
Not focus so much. So the world is unsafe. How much would you say you believe that, 0 to 100?
I don't know. I feel like if you would have asked me I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I would have probably been not at all. So on a scale of 1 to 100, maybe a 20,
20?
I think.
Okay. So we're shifting. Let me make sure I'm understanding. Maria of old would have said she entirely believed that the world is unsafe,
Yeah.
and now we're down to 20?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought
Okay.
that you meant the other way. No, probably about an 80.
Eight.
Yeah, I'm feeling it's safer, but not, yeah.
It's still there. That belief is still there.
Yeah.
Where did that shift come from? What was telling you it could come down 20%?
I don't know. I think it's so funny because it's just so much stuff is out of our control. And I don't know. Sometimes I just feel it's a hard question to answer.
What's the emotion? You say, I feel. What follows that?
Um, Maybe, I don't know, just uncertain, just don't, I don't know.
Well, that's a good point. If we're saying uncertain, and that can lead us to maybe believe the world is unsafe at times.
Yeah.
Trying to push back against that thought. I don't know this, but I believe we could probably find some situations where Maria was feeling uncertain, and it led her to maybe enjoy moments more, or it didn't indicate a lack of safety to her. Does that hit home?
No, for sure. Um, I think, I think a lot of times, like I said, I get in my own head about things, and I just try to I think almost prevent myself from being able to enjoy things since my brother passed. I feel almost I don't know, I let him down or something, and then I just kind of take all of that in, and I don't really know how to do it or how to handle it.
I let him down. That's one of those more impactful thoughts. What if we go right there? How much do you believe that? I let him down.
I don't know. I don't know. It's I don't want to say 100. Maybe about 90. Yeah.
What tells you you did? What tells you you did let him down?
It's because I wasn't there. You know, I wasn't there to I guess help. Yeah.
That's another piece. As we've talked, week after week, I've been trying to make sense of that in my mind, and I don't know that I fully follow. I think maybe some details are still fuzzy to me. What would that have looked like? You being there. What would that have done?
I don't know. I guess I could have stopped it, or I don't know. I guess all of these thoughts just go through my mind and think of how I could have handled that differently, or how I could have been there to, help the situation out. But I don't know. I mean, I guess ultimately, in reality, I could have wound up getting hurt too, which is also really scary to think about, but kind of pulls back into that feeling unsafe and You can't trust people.
When you say it right now, what do you feel in this moment? Feeling uncertainty here?
No, I don't feel uncertain here. I mean, I feel like, I feel safe here. Or like as safe as I can feel. There's just so much uncertainty in the world.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking back when you and I first started meeting. Was there any uncertainty then that maybe isn't there as much now?
Um, I don't know, maybe a little. Not too much.
The situations, when there's uncertainty, that's not a. We talk about the idea of emotions. There's no good. There's no bad.
Yeah.
They're informative. They're pleasant. They're unpleasant. But they're telling us something. If we get at that idea of feeling something and using that as information, if we feel uncertain, does that mean a situation is unsafe?
Not necessarily.
What do you mean? Can you elaborate on that?
I don't know, I guess just because I feel something doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. Yeah.
This seems to capture that idea of emotional reasoning. You and I touched on that a little bit. We feel something and we almost look back on the thought and
Yeah.
use that as telling us or evidence, oh, this must be true because I feel this way.
I think it's just like I've done it for so long. So
That's what we're used to. What about that idea of letting your brother down? Have the feelings changed at all since we've been talking?
I think that I've held on to it for so long, and I think, sometimes finally just being able to talk about it versus just kind of like dealing with it on my own. I mean, I don't want to say that it's like it's gone, but it's just kind of nice to be able to like let it out, I guess.
You're feeling those emotions, showing yourself you can handle them.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's still some work for us to do on that belief, but great job today.
Thanks.
In that session, you could hear Maria's beliefs change slightly. And that's common. We don't expect a drastic shift in how she's thinking. Sometimes it may be just a few percentage points. But you could also hear Maria shift in terms of what she was experiencing emotionally. She had greater insight about what she was feeling, and she was able to feel those emotions in the session successfully. In that session, we tried to remain respectful of Maria's beliefs, tried not to push her too hard, tried to meet her where she was at. If you're interested in CPT or another type of therapy or discussing trauma further, please reach out to your Thriveworks counselor or reach out to us so we can get you connected with a Thriveworks counselor.